pretty good things to say to sound like I am, though. You know, I hit Cabernet Sauvignon right on a guess one time, and they thought I was like really something. I think it is. Let me go check. And
I can only name one wine. If somebody said, "Oh, you have a favorite wine?" I could name one that I really enjoyed in a restaurant once, and that was I believe it was a Sauvignon Blanc by Claude Dubois.
yes, it's fun
And
saying, fun saying it.
Claude Dubois. So
Claude
now,
Dubois.
if I buy a bottle of wine for someone, I buy Claude Dubois because I liked it. And it's like, it's not a $5 bottle of wine; it's like a $22 bottle of wine. So it's a
That's good.
nice bottle of
Okay.
wine.
Yeah, I used to order wine for the when I worked at Bell Labs. I would order wine and beer for all the parties, and I would always order Clos de Bois because it was
Wow.
cheap and it was good, and everyone liked it, and I get to take some home when it were done.
And it's fun to
Yeah, it is a very nice wine. Like it's a good whoever makes it. I don't know where it comes from, Cali or whatever, but it's a nice wine. I enjoyed it very much. Went great with my ravioli dinner.
find wine.
So we
What
are
we're
live on Facebook and Instagram. I was live already today doing El Rampador on Broadway, and the cops
I'm
came.
sorry, I missed it.
The cops came and parked in the illegally. So I kind of watched him to see what he was doing, and he was just watching me. I guess he got a call about me, and a couple of cars didn't stop for me, and I was like, "Hey, hey, hey!" So the cop wasn't there to write tickets. So I went up to the officer. I said, "Hey, you could have wrote just 10 tickets just now." Like, yeah, I'm, hanging out. I'm like, well, you're in a bad spot here. There's a blind spot here, so I can't see the traffic coming out, and they can't see me. So he's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna move across the street and write some tickets. And then he moved, but he never came back. So, and I didn't recognize the sergeant at all.
Yeah, because he really wasn't interested.
Wasn't interested.
He was catching a break.
He was just gonna watch me to see if I was doing anything stupid, which I wasn't. Almost got killed twice though.
Mm, a good
Yeah,
lawsuit.
yeah. Some people aren't paying attention, man.
I know. I've seen your videos. I've seen people not paying attention. I love when you guys speed it up and do it to the polka music. That's great.
Anthony Sachs.
That's a good one.
Yeah, the Benny Hill music.
You're very good.
So I'll be out there tomorrow.
Because you make it entertaining, and then everybody goes like, "Oh my god, he almost got hit." Like the music's like, "Oh my god, oh shit, he almost got hit again."
Crazy.
Like, oh, that's why I need to pay attention in the crosswalks.
Some people stopped short today. Like I didn't expect them to stop, and they stopped. I'm like, whoa, okay, you're paying attention.
That's a good way to get a new car. Stopping short.
And one guy's filming me, just filming me for a while. So I always go up to those people to let them know what I'm doing. To whoever is watching this video that they're making, I want them to see that, hey, I'm doing this for a reason. It's for a blind person's traffic light. So just try to explain that's what it's for. And I'm having signs made up probably tomorrow that are going to
That's a
show
good
that.
idea.
Yeah, to show that's the way I don't have to answer questions. Just, here you go.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to block that right there.
When I
This is not my best side.
when I walked across the state wheelchair in '93, I started out with one sign, and it did not take long till I needed a sign that said "From Seaside to Trenton." What are you doing? What are you doing? Medical marijuana for multiple sclerosis. What are you doing? Walking along the road, it went much better after that. Yeah, I could. Yeah, you can anticipate, but the sign is, you know, quite a good idea.
I want a nice.
Actually, a sign, you get a lot more respect from people passing by to, have an idea what you're up to. You're doing something good.
I want a sign with grommets so I can hang it from the side of the wheelchair.
Or one on your lap and one on your back.
I need the side covered. Because when I'm going on the crosswalk,
Yeah.
I need the sides covered so that the cars can see what I'm doing, like the
Okay.
sides. So either my arms, my armrests, or a lawn sign on the back of the wheelchair and the headrest. There's 2 holes back in the headrest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
a good idea.
put bamboo sticks back there and have it above my head, and maybe make a triangle.
Oh, I've seen that happen before. It was that was the view of going. Often put up picture of leading the May Day parade on Fifth Avenue with the big sign. It was well up over Cheryl. The same thing as the whole. I made a whole thing to do that. So.
What'd you use for the sticks?
A lawn sign comes with something.
Yeah, it was similar to the metal.
Yeah, lawn sign comes with like like these metal H's.
Yeah. Well,
and they bend a little bit, so you could probably bend it to put it in your spots.
There's a headrest that goes in there. I would, well, at least in a wheelchair, they're there, so you can put a headrest in, and and that just goes in so far because the post comes up and then it expands where it won't fit in, and I think I just attach something to that, and then a rigid signboard.
Which way was yours going? Front and back, though, right? Front and back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do side to side. So I'm thinking about making a triangle. Make a triangle and glue a triangle together of 3 signs, 3 little signs together of the same thing. That might work, and they'll hold together as a triangle. It'll hold together.
It might.
Glue it. Make it
All right, I gotta take this call. I'll be back to brainstorm.
Okay.
Okay, make a dunce cap like looking thing. Try wear it.
I have
you're only gonna fit so much verbiage on a sign as well.
I actually wear an umbrella hat this year. It makes me look absolutely insane when I have the umbrella on my head.
Yeah, like the El Rampador mask doesn't do that, but if you put a hat on it.
If you put an umbrella hat on top of the mask and the whole, no, it's over the top at that point. Last year I had an umbrella on my wheelchair that was a huge umbrella. And it really made it was really funny looking. It really was funny looking to see, because it's like, here I am as El Rampador with this huge umbrella over me. It just looked insane. It looked great. It was great.
Yeah, people should know exactly what, or close to what you're doing, though. I thought about that before. A number of people see you doing that don't know why.
Right.
Yeah, if you're doing something sneaky or something you didn't want somebody to find out about, okay. But this is something that you really want them to know.
People are fascinated when they start making video. I'm just going in a circle. In a circle. And they're fascinated by it. They're just some people interact with me. Some people thank me. A lot of people thank me.
You go counterclockwise, clockwise, you mix it up.
I try to go clockwise, because if I go counterclockwise, I have a blind spot when I turn off Broadway. Somebody could turn off Broadway onto me, and I won't see them. Oh. That's the only time I try to avoid that. So I go the other way, so I can see everything.
Well.
It's interesting. It's very interesting, the things that have happened on that crosswalk. I've had a psych exam. I've had someone spit on me. I've been given food and water. I've been thanked. You name it. It's been a wild 2 years there. This is the second. No, we've been doing it for 2 years, so this is year 3, I believe.
I caught a half or a third of an eaten apple out from a passing car right in the sternum. And I guess it was probably about a 50-mile-an-hour shot, so that's not even Little League speed. But it still made me go, whoa! I mean, really.
When you were pushing a wheelchair?
No, I was uh, outside the 10th district legislator's office with a sign. I might have had. No, I just had a sign. You're like this. Why not a big bullseye? I mean, if I'm going to just stand there. Yeah,
That's assault.
I didn't care. I always had bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
I don't even like fish.
I don't like fish either, but if you cook it right, oh man, I eat that all day.
I like white fish, like flounder and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and all sorts of shellfish. I don't like anything that tastes like fish or smells like fish.
No, me neither. No. No, sole. Isn't sole like a whitefish?
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, I have that, and it's stuffed sole. It's stuffed with crab meat.
Oh, that'd be good.
It's amazing.
Any kind of fish that's good with enough lemon on it, lemon juice.
Mm. But it was so tender, it just melted in your mouth, kind of. Oh.
I did have the freshest tuna casserole you could ever have because we caught a tuna while we're sailing on Ecuador's troll line, and I think we were going into Chesapeake Bay then. We'd been out in the ocean. We're coming back in, and he got about a 25-pound tuna, to which he got in the dinghy, which trailed behind it. It was pretty calm, so he could cut that baby up, and he took about 5 pounds of what he says is the best part. And then he made a tuna casserole, and so we're eating that about like 2.5 hours after the fish was just swimming around. It's like the best fish I'd ever tasted. I don't know how he did that. Plus we weren't in yet and sailing, so he had to cook it about a 20-degree angle. That was good. That was good.
I love watching Chris Goldstein's exploits on the ocean.
Yeah, that was good. I like that too. When I sailed, we went out with 4 flags at the Coast Guard station at the Point Pleasant. Where you go out, they maintain flags there, and 4 flags is don't go. And the guy I sailed with, he was kind of crazy, and we're going to go anyway. I've never seen him scared, but he looked pretty scared going out there because there was like 7 rows of white water coming in. There was that much wave. It wasn't like choppy. It was long rows of white water, and you had to be like perpendicular to every one, because if you turned and the next one would turn you, and so we motored out through that. Then he put up the sails, and when we got out, it was serious. The trough was so deep. It's like when a big person jumps in a pool. Have the little wave caps all over. Yeah, that was it. But like in slow motion. So when you were at top, you could see all that far as the eye could see. But then you get down in the trough, and it was a good 35 feet, 3 stories or so. Maybe, yeah, like at least the size of the houses on Long Beach Island, and it was beyond scared. It was the one time in my life it was beyond scared. It was all exhilarating. It was scary. It was like, make sure you know what you're doing. And you would just like, you'd be up it like this way and then come up over the top, and then it would go on down, and you couldn't tell if the waves were actually passing us. And then one time you saw a light. There's another boat, and about every 5th time up you'd see it. You'd be up at top together long enough to see it. So he kind of angled us over there as best as he could, and we passed going opposite directions with another crazy guy at his sailboat, and he was like behind his wheel, and the guy I'm with is behind the wheel, and they both did that it was like a pirate laugh or something at each other from, it was 200 feet. It was quite a ways, but you could, and yeah, that was something. And then it took 72 hours to be able to come back in and go, holy shit, and start over. So we came into Cape May, only got down as far as Cape May, just trying to, like be alive. And that's when I found out what sea legs are. That's when your equilibrium changes from the constant changing. You know what I mean? You get to a point where it's not really an issue until you stop, because the marina that we came in at, it's like concrete floor in the little snack area. You get a bar. It's a bar you can have a drink. We're just getting coffee. And I look around and I see people like this talking to each other. They're like going like this just while they're sitting there. And I say, Nick, look at this. There's like 4 people in here doing that out of about 8. And he's like, yeah, you are too, No, no. And it took going in to the bathroom and looking in the mirror, and I see myself moving. I'm trying to stay still, and my equilibrium saying, you are still. Oh no, I'm not. Yeah, that was we went down to Florida. It took 6 weeks. It's pretty cool. After that, he had target practice. He had all sorts of guns. I think he could have been a pirate, my friend. I mean, I knew him for a long time before that, but he named his boat El Diablo. And then he went to a blessing at a fleet, and the guy that did, oh, Dios mío, I just blessed the devil, And he liked some irony and shit like that. He was, yeah. But he definitely was afraid of, if anything happens, you never let anybody on your boat, ever. Give them some rope, put them in the dinghy. But if we came across this boat that was sinking, they don't get on board. Because they could be pirates. He goes, yeah, steal a boat, and they'll wait to see another one, they'll scuttle it, and that one will come over. And they got them on, then they kill them, dump them overboard, and they don't steal the boat, they steal the fittings. They're expensive as can be, and easy to pawn off. So yeah, my boat cost. This is a long time ago. This boat cost $30,000, and then I put $15,000 worth of fittings on it. It's all this cool brass stuff, stuff. But and now my excitement is yard work. Fuck. Well, it will be interesting to see how the clone planting expedition goes. I wouldn't mind taking one of them with me. I mean, they might say, okay, we got 100. We'll give away up to 20 before we plant the rest that are going to get wasted. Because they're not, they'll get tossed eventually. It's interesting. I would imagine it sounds like there would be notification the morning thereof, which would be smart, because coming out and figuring it out all at once without, notice. Oh, over under. How many get planted before they get stopped? Have a betting pool. Got to figure an over under. I say like 23.
Yeah. I would wait till executive session to talk about this.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, it just seems like it could be interesting. I'll give them that, and I would love, really, and I think react the same way. I like being wrong when being wrong is a good thing for something. I really like it. I love standing corrected. It's a quick path to learning too, doing that.
I like civil disobedience.
Well, I had nothing but good experiences. Of course, even that lighting of a simple joint at the Liberty Bell did take Chris down a sort of a rabbit hole.
A rabbit
But
hole.
Full circle back to a Barton was so cool. Though.
Look what happened.
I mean? Yeah, man. That was the best ever, really. So.
What a fun ride for him.
Yeah.
I remember him when he couldn't smoke weed for like 4 years. He was smoking cigarettes.
Oh, I mean, I was there then. I was having quite a view. It was funny because Poe couldn't get anybody's attention. He had a joint too, and he's walking around as everybody else is busy getting arrested. He's the one I would have thought would have been the first one arrested. Yeah. And that was back at a time when that did get necessary questions being asked in the press. It was a pretty good view from. So this could be too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take part myself, but I may be there as an observer.
So we got the burn up cleanup coming up on the 14th. That's Sunday.
Yep.
Sunday. Yes, sir.
Oh, that's this coming Sunday.
Yeah. What's the weather like? Let me check the weather for Sunday. Please be nice. $63 degrees.
That's nice.
Oh, tomorrow it's 75. I'll be on Broadway and 49th tomorrow.
Wow. Nice. So what time is the cleanup?
1-ish, 1 o'clock.
Yeah. I got a chance of being there. I just don't really want to say, I might make it, because then if I don't, it just sounds like I'm saying I might make it at times like that. So it's not like anything depends on knowing whether I'll be there or not. But I did float it 2 Sundays ago that maybe we could change our weekly Sunday in Silverton to Saturday. Because if we could all gather on Saturday there, then that would leave Sunday open. And I could take that impossibly long ride to clean up trash, not in my own yard. I think that's just really good branding. So I'm inclined to try to support it by being there. Yeah.
I get yelled at because it's like, hey, you won't clean your room, but you go clean up the streets.
Right. Yeah.
True.
Well, I don't know how long I'd really be able to stay, but I'd be there at least 3 hours worth.
I think they want to record you as well.
I'm sorry?
I think they want to record you as well in the studio. I think they were saying something about recording you or something.
Yeah, what studio?
Their studio is right there in Dover.
Oh.
Chris and Chris.
Oh. Well.
Crispy Chris. I'll call him Crispy Chris.
I'll let him. I'll figure it out, and I'd probably know by. No, I'll find out. I can find out tomorrow probably. Get everybody to commit to a Saturday, but I can't say I can't miss the weekly Tom's Order thing, but yeah, I really don't like doing that, you know. And it's funny because Billy Crystal wrote a book, I think it was called 600 Sundays, and it was about that was a day with his dad. Yeah, I grew up with the same thing, you know, visitation on Sundays, uh, you know, with the divorced parents. And so anyway, he wrote a book, 600 Sundays, and I started figuring it out and been going Sundays pretty much since 2005. So I don't know how many that is, but more than 600. I think I read a book, 800 Sundays, and 6 Fridays or Saturdays. I don't know, something. Yeah, yeah. How what's the nearest main road to Dover or wherever I'm going to be, so I can get it? Oh, this is near. This is near Morristown. Did you say?
Yeah, this is Route 10.
Yeah.
Or 46. I think you'll be taking Route 10 though.
Yeah, it sounds familiar. I don't mind.
Paco. What's up, Paco? Johnny Stash in the house. So next week we're at the State House on Thursday. And this week we have Peter Grinspoon.
On Thursday? Yep.
Yeah, definitely confirmed this week for Peter Grinspoon. Dr. Peter Grinspoon. So it should be good.
Yeah, it'd be nice to pick his brain a little bit. He must get tired about being asked what's it like to be Lester Grinspoon's son, you know. But he's truly the only one I know that can literally I've been involved in cannabis issues my entire life, having been born into the issue.
What's his wife's name? Betty? Lester's.
No, that was his mother's name.
His mother.
Yeah. Betsy.
Betsy. Was she a doctor too, or what's her story?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. She was nice. You know, it was when he gave his talk. I don't know. Maybe I've mentioned it before, but he was either 38 or 42, I think, when he finally, you know, he'd been a certified court expert for cannabis issues, always operating for the defense. I mean, working for the defense. So he never tried it himself, even though he knew what he was hearing his whole life was wrong, and finding out what the real deal is. I mean, as his life, he was doing that. And he asked the prosecutor, "Why don't you ever ask me whether I've used marijuana or not?" He said, "Because it wouldn't be relevant. You know, whether you do or not, it wouldn't be relevant. It's not going to help my case. It's going to make me look bad." So he proceeded to call up his close friends, who said, "If you ever get to that, look us up, man. We'll walk you through your first time." And they spent a weekend at the guy's cabin on the lake, you know, and very comfortable. And so this was his last thing at a convention of any kind he was going to be talking about. So he made it personal because he'd never really gone into his own. And I just loved her reaction to when he said he got the dry mouth and went in, and his friend said, "Yeah, orange juice, got some of that." So he said, "Then I went and had, it was the best orange juice I'd ever tasted." And everyone's, ha ha ha, that's funny, you know. And he goes, "And later that night, Lester," you know, she's all flustered because he gave that little sly grin as if to say, "So later when we went to sleep that night," she gave him like an elbow, and I think he was saying it was fun for going to sleep too.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun
That's
for
what
me.
Paco says. Paco took 6 capsules He put a question up. Can you see the question, Jim?
No, we're not.
It's under me. Under my face, no?
Oh, there it is. Oh, yes, Paco. He liked him a lot, and he's just taken one a day because he's stretching it out. But then he got some capsules as well. So he's at the moment doing I think a capsule in the morning or at night, and then a little bit of the oil as it is. And yeah, it's like he likes them, but what I like is he's still like relieved that he has them, you know, because he said, hey, even like a short time of what am I going to do? You know, like, you hear news you'd rather not hear from a doctor and right away, I don't waste any time. So anyway, it was, of course, not having financial resources of any real kind at all, and with me existing on Cheryl's Social Security, I'm her surviving spouse for 20 years. So my income, come on, that's kind of funny, I had to work off the books all that time, so I don't have Social Security. Now I got her Social Security and got squat. But anyway, when people step up to help, it's never forgotten, so I don't know. It just seems like I'm aligned with not only a good cause, but I've met some of the best people ever for the people who go above and beyond when it comes to other people's health and freaking weed, Weed, unwanted plant by definition.
Yeah,
So thanks for asking, Paco. And we're Facebook friends now. I didn't know how to look up Paco. I don't know his last name. So
read the screen,
Paco,
Jim.
what's that?
Read the screen.
Okay. Let's stretch it out here. There you go. Why is it I don't even see the screen when I'm talking to you and I'm looking all around? I mean, I do like to get nicely medicated during these gatherings here,
Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm catching up. I'm going to catch up to you. Hold on.
Yeah. It's funny, when I to make the edibles, the cookies, to get to get it ready to go and make cookies with the results of a magical butter run through of some low grade even, and then I'm so lazy that I just take a fingerful and eat it when I feel like it and skip making the cookies. I'm not lazy.
All good.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So anyway, that's all good,
Yep.
So I found out my favorite munchie food today.
What's that?
It's a sloppy Joe
No.
on a poppy seed roll. So here's the trick.
Sloppy got
This is
sloppy.
the trick that makes it 10 out of 10. You gotta, instead of taking the roll, cutting it in half, no, you take a little off the top, you make a pocket.
Like
You
pita
make-
bread.
You make a pocket and you put all the sloppy Joe inside the pocket, and then it doesn't fall out of the bottom while you're eating it. So it's not a sloppy Joe. It's
It's a Joe.
It's a Joe.
It's a regular Joe.
Best thing ever.
Yeah. I forget what I've done that for. You've had pita bread, like it's like a
You
tortilla
gotta have
like.
the roll for the with the poppy seeds. You gotta have that with the poppy seeds. Got it. A must. So just a little pocket.
Probably not good to even have.
Oh,
I mean, I didn't really use it
amazing.
in the microwave. I used it as
They've been to
like
Sloppy Joe's in Key West. They got Sloppy Joe's there.
that kind of thing.
It's my favorite. That's what we ate during the eclipse today.
Yeah. Yes.
Eclipse food. I'll
Eclipse
keep that. I'll keep that in mind for 23, whatever.
They had eclipse chips. Special chips you can eat for the eclipse.
This was like
Man.
plastic. Like
And they had glasses you can buy that'll cost you a couple of bucks. They absolutely commercialized the eclipse. I'm shocked and dismayed.
Surprise! Never thought that would happen. Commercialize an eclipse.
Where did you think it was?
The chips are the funniest ones. They had bags of chips that were like eclipse chips. You have to watch. You have to eat these chips for the eclipse.
Huh. Yeah, I was out doing yard work, and it was cloudy. And I didn't look up at it, and it was just cloudy at the time.
What were we talking about tonight? Well, what were you doing during the eclipse? What were you smoking on? I was smoking on. What was I smoking on? Oh, Dutch Treats. Dutch Treats, which was amazing.
Yeah, I was on the other side of the fence on the side yard where it's on a corner here, so it's also a road, but it's just a fence with all sorts of forsythias and things growing there. But I had to get in to the fence and free it of ivy. And the way to do that is to take a hatchet and just chop it down right at the fence line, and then about another 6 inches away, and then you get up all, some kind of down in it and getting poked and stuff. And oh yeah, eclipse. Okay, that's what I was. I was fighting with ivy, and ivy was winning. But I didn't bleed, didn't get poked in the eye, so it's at least a draw.
It's a stuffed Joe. Stuffy Joe, not a sloppy Joe, a stuffy Joe.
Yeah, there you go. That sounds like a proper name.
I'm starving now.
Shit.
What's your favorite munchie food?
It's hard to say like favorite if it's just like it's not something I it's like a go-to thing or anything, but when we have the hot cheese doodles, the spicy ones though, they have what kind of pepper flavor? I mean, they're cheese doodles, but they're hot. They got lots of flavor.
Oh yeah, the spicy ones. They're flaming hot. Flaming hot.
Yeah.
All day with those.
Yeah, I like them. And jalapeno poppers.
Oh yes.
Love them. Jalapeno poppers. We can't beat that. With cream cheese, if you can get it with the cream cheese. But hardly ever,
Well, here's one for you. Take jalapeno, cream cheese, and bacon. Throw all those together.
Yeah. So I saw that done with bacon. I think it was around a scallop. And then bacon around that with the cream cheese and a popper on top, really. So a video. It was one of them, like, it wasn't like I didn't save it. I usually, I have that through my mail, and when I'm, just shit canning pretty much everything I get, but it doesn't take long because sometimes things come through, like I get recipes for some reason. I guess it's because I look at them sometimes. Man, I'm always open to something new, especially when it doesn't cost a lot.
Paco will eat anything when he has the munchies. He's just glad he has an appetite. Yes, sir.
Wow, it's
and Eric.
A lot of people don't have an appetite.
Eric smoked moon rocks in honor of the eclipse. Get it? Get it?
Good one.
Get it?
Yeah. I never thought of that. Well, I don't have any,
You saved them for the special day. That's great. How do you save moon rocks? Man, that's tough. I couldn't save those. They wouldn't last long around me. I'll tell you that. Those are good.
Well, you want to
You know,
really
you know what doesn't last long around me? A blunt or rosin. Blunts and rosin doesn't last long. If you got a blunt in front of me, I will smoke that thing down.
Mm.
I love a good blunt, and I love rosin. Oh,
All right, sweetie.
Now I'm getting hungry too. Yeah, still inside my window. I eat in a 4-hour period every day, and that's it. So I can get hungry and eat. What will it be?
when I eat edibles, I get the munchies. Whatever it is about edibles, they give me the munchies hard. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
you know, when Carrie Stork and Jackie Rickert were here, we were having that protest at Al Gore's vice presidency thing. People came from all over, but Chad Rea gave us each a box. He was a candy man, and his name Chad, so they called him Chadberry, and that was his thing from the time I met him. He was Candyman, but it was like a box, like probably 10 inches by 4 by 4, with flat white chocolate, mostly some strawberry chocolate. Some had nuts in it, and it was so good that we all got the munchies. And what's better than candy when you got the munchies? And we just pigged out on edibles without really thinking about it.
oh,
And then we had to have dinner, and there's a place called Berkeley Seafood there in Seaside Park, right before Island Beach State Park. Oh, best seafood. And but you can also get it cooked like you get a couple of pounds of baked scallops and stuff. So anyway, after eating all that candy, I went over to Gary, and this is at 2000 prices, 2000 the year 2000 prices. It was like, oh my God, just under $200 for 4 of us, but it was in pounds and pounds of this and pounds of shrimp and man, just don't start munching with edibles, because then that could lead to some pretty irrational activity after that. Memorable.
what I don't like is when the police catch you with edibles, they weigh the edibles and they
Yeah.
charge you with what they weigh. Like,
Yeah,
no, that's not how it's done.
Yeah, well, I wonder if anything comes out of I forget his name now. Ed Fortune's
Oh,
cousin,
Melvin.
Melvin. Yeah, that was the sticking point there. That they had to wait till they figured out exactly how to do that and how to calculate what would be fair, because that's what got him in jail without no bail, because he didn't have that much in flour, but he had a lot of edibles, and he got over the limit pretty quick. That's why I spent 3/4 of a year in jail waiting. So it seems though that may somehow come back helping a definition of what to do if they're going to have to figure that out. That used to be the big thing with carrier weight with blotter acid. How many 50 some years ago is that's why it could come on small pieces of toilet paper, even it would be dried out on it, wet inside of it, but basically it was just a small piece of any kind of paper, and the paper has a kind of weight that when you're weighing something with a very small amount necessary to trigger stuff, that was just one guy got somebody in like a peripheral circle of my friends got like 10 years for 11 hits of acid because they carry weight. So we'll have all this sorted out one day, right?
Ridiculous.
No, never. I just think people that were anti-cannabis all that time don't want to admit total being wrong. You know, that's why I'm going back and see if people like former head of health George D. Fernando, when he said no for everything that marijuana's alleged to help, there's already legal pharmaceuticals that work better.
Well, like what?
Well, that's what I see. I thought I had a foothold there because I said, well, that's great news because I tried everything. Here's a list of it was 19 things on the list and saying none of these work. So obviously, you know something we don't. And I'd appreciate knowing. And, then Clifton Lacey was after him. I used to know the heads of health. They'd come and go pretty quick. But no, it never, that question was never answered. And Al Gore said that too. So that's why we're having problems with him to say that the stuff that works, but you can't say that. You can't say that. And where's the double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical crossover gold standard test that back up what you say?
There we go. Acid's a hell of a drug, bro. I wouldn't recommend for everyone. That's true.
I wouldn't recommend it for anyone.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about 1970 and 71. So, but no, I didn't. I had a very, very limited experience with that. It was people I hung around with too, though. But I didn't. You started out with something that would be considered an overdose, where you really didn't know what was going on. I mean, didn't know. And look down and see bricks, because I was at North Carolina State University and on the brickyard, and I'd look up and all I could see was bricks, and I'd look at the sky and I'd see bricks, and I'd say, well, if these are bricks, I'm just going to sit down. I'd sit down. Next thing I see people looking at me with pity. Oh, whoa, there's no bricks. There's just people staring at me. Why am I sitting here? Yeah. Bad thing. Yeah, that's horrible,
Yeah, I haven't taken mushrooms in a while. That's about the only thing I would do. Maybe some mushrooms.
I'd never microdosed mushrooms. I think would like to try that, stop short of my
thing. Yeah, it's the thing. A lot of people love it. I mean, it's better than antidepressants because it's a natural antidepressant, especially at that low level, that really low level. That doesn't get you high; it just gets you happy.
Yeah.
Or just where you're not sad, I guess, or whatever. It just keeps your mind in a good place. Apparently, I've never taken that. I've never taken this. I've always taken like a quarter ounce of shrooms, and trip for 12 hours.
I can see therapy being far more beneficial, and it would speed up the pace for a therapist because at the right dosage and the right situation, somebody's going to open up a lot quicker. And in New Jersey, I don't know if anybody read the bill, and I don't know where that bill sits now, but you're never going to actually possess any. You get to go somewhere and use it there.
Wait, what?
Read the bill.
No.
Yes, I read it to see how much you could grow, and it doesn't sound like that's going to be the case at all.
They put you in a room with fluorescent lights, and they let you trip, and they just watch you.
And they have somebody there in case you need somebody there. Yeah,
is there music? Is there a couch? Is there a TV? Is there a Nintendo? What do we do?
They had some of it spelled out a little bit, but
no food.
No food.
Just like the lounges in New Jersey where you can have weed but no food. That makes no sense.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. What are you punishing us for? Why are we being punished? I feel like we're being punished by the principal in high school.
Well, this is New Jersey. What you want is say, listen, we want to serve pizza, and you will get a slice of the pie yourself. You
I
know,
want crab legs.
little size. Yeah, crab legs.
Crab legs and ashtrays, bro, all day.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the name of the party. Crab legs and ashtrays.
Well, if it's held at the UFCW 360, what do you, where they are in Berlin office? What's the name of their meeting house, their clubhouse? What the hell is that? A nice place.
They got a clubhouse.
Yeah.
We got to
With
get there's a
ashtrays.
party. There's a party this month or coming up soon.
Who's
saw
party?
that? I forget. Somebody's having a party down there
With ashtrays.
with ashtrays.
You know, when I walked in, with a Medman. I saw him in the parking lot. We walked in together. That's the first thing we both looked and saw ashtrays. This is the last time you saw ashtrays on the long cafeteria-like tables, you know, and some round ones. Ashtrays. And food.
Ashtrays and food. That's all we really need. Maybe some music, and we're good.
It was kind of funny. Wednesday was at the same table where Medman tapped me on the shoulder and he had what he was going to light. Could have been a blunt. And I was just
the one
like,
that was this big, the big one.
Yeah, right.
Blunt.
He tapped me like, do I? And I waved him off because it was the panel discussion and it's quiet. And they don't, it's quiet. And there's one voice talking. And then all of a sudden, I could hear it. And I'm like, you see, that's what I was talking about. And it wasn't me,
Oh, the Wizard Cannabis is Medman. There we go. Hey, Medman. I didn't know that was you. That's funny.
I got to tell you, man.
He's here.
Stand next to him at an event like that, and it'll become a different event entirely. He knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, just coughing a little bit, bro. Tried to rope me in first, but I wasn't gonna have it. That was a really good time, and that's why when the CMMJ was, we missed the opening to have our 20th anniversary one, but that's what I kept saying. I loved my time there because they had ashtrays. And that's when I started with, like, no matter what kind of gathering we would have, if you wanted to be a success, ashtrays and crab legs, all you can eat. And that's going to cost a little bit, not the ashtrays. The other. Well, hi, honey. How was it? It was awesome. Crab legs and ashtrays.
No, that has to be the name of the party.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Then
we got to figure out how to get the crab legs. Better have some good crab legs. Oh, thank you. Crab legs? I was just handed a shot of something. I don't know what it is.
It's a roofie.
Oh, my God. Yeah, what's in here? It tastes healthy, whatever it is. Mango. Orange juice.
And something else.
And something. Yeah. Cheers.
Mango.
Cheers, fun.
One more. Peach. Mango, orange juice.
Nice mixture. Peach is in there too. Woo! The future bar, crab legs and ashtrays. Or a band. It'd be a band. We just write a song too. Jim, we could write a song. Crab legs and ashtrays.
Sounds like a country song.
It's absolutely 100% country song. A Jersey Shore country song.
Yeah, it's like my truck broke, my wife left me, my dog died, and I was bummed out, so I had crab legs and ashtrays for a party.
Yes. It has to be sung like Bruce Springsteen. I'll work on that. I got nothing but energy for that. Random ass liquid. Oh, here we go. We went to a comedy. Here, I'll put it up there. We went to a comedy show in Red Bank at a cannabis-friendly venue and smoked back to back to back rosin blunts just to see how cannabis-friendly they were.
Wow.
And I guess it worked.
They're popping up then. Cannabis-friendly venues.
We need more cannabis-friendly venues, and I don't think you need a lounge. You just have to have a club and allow people to smoke. Right? Where you can smoke tobacco, you can smoke cannabis. A lot of clubs allow you to smoke tobacco.
Hmm.
In an area, maybe an outdoor area, or wherever it is, whatever they have to do.
Well, that place in Madison, Wisconsin, where a bunch of us sat down for a good Jamaican dinner, Jamaican restaurant, but it was a U-shaped building. And what they did with the center there was closed it off from the outside, and there's doors to it. So technically, it wasn't inside, and you would be allowed to smoke there, and they didn't care what you smoked. So that was going back like 20 some years, and it was just so nice to be smoking like you would if it was a cigarette. Only everybody had joints, and it had a nice feel. You said, that's what it's going to be like. I mean, it has to be. Just why does it have to take decades and decades?
Dude, in '96, we went to California. There was places like that in California. Smoke lounges.
Hmm.
Nobody cared in California. In '96, it was like it was changing out there back then. It was just,
Yeah, well.
we didn't have any weed, so we get off the plane, and I just jump out of the car and I run up to some hippie guy. I'm like, hey, we can get some weed? He's like, yeah, he happened to have a quarter on him. He sold me a quarter for like, I don't know, $60.
Well, when I flew in, Gary Stork called somebody from the airport, and he got to our motel room before we did to say welcome. That problem. No.
Oh, yeah, there's cigar lounges.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that, but I went to the cigar lounge. JR is up on Route 10 here. And me and Don Karpowicz went there. And I bought a cigar, and I broke it apart, and I rolled a blunt right there on the bar. And we ordered food. And we just smoked that big-ass blunt that we just rolled, and we ate food. Now, they want to kick us out? There was so much smoke in there, you couldn't even tell.
Yeah,
we were
it's
smoking weed because we were smoking a big blunt full of weed. How do you know?
when I went with Pete Christopher to Washington, he drove down, and he was bringing some clones down for somebody, and he drove down with him. And he had like part of a cigar, a thinner cigar, not a big fatty, not a stogie, in his ashtray. I'll bite. What do you smoke? He goes, yeah. After we smoke this joint, I'm gonna take a couple. I'm gonna light that up a little bit, and that'll cover this. And it did. It was a great cover smell. I mean, all you smelled was the cigar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, hookah lounge. You can't tell in a hookah lounge either. The owner has to be okay with it. They don't have to allow it. They have the option. Yeah. And then not in Illinois, apparently. Yeah, '96 in California. I was out there for the Normal Conference. That's where I met LV, and I met. We did a bunch of interviews. Me and Pete Christopher. We interviewed Dale,
Geringer.
Guy,
Dale Geringer.
and yeah, and oh man, that was great. In New Jersey, oops. I used to smoke cigars and mask the weed smell in Mom's garage. In New Jersey, hookah lounges and cigar bars permits licensing are grandfathered in and not giving any new ones. So they're going for a lot of money after legalization.
Wow, that makes sense. They would.
Interesting. But even so, you could just have a private club and allow smoking. Private party.
Yep.
Those were the days.
Yeah. These are the days.
These are the days. A lot of
Good
stuff
news.
going on. Yeah, this is a busy year for us.
Well, if we're gonna have good old days, we got to have good new days too. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it only makes sense.
Keep it moving.
Yeah.
All right, Jim, I'm going to jump off. Go have some tea. Sorry we didn't have a quorum. This is not a podcast. This is our board meeting, by the way. The hookah lounge I used to go to used to sell weed in the back before it was legal. And they're just down the street from the police station, and everyone's got shut down for it. Private members only. Yeah, private. There you go. Private members only. Oh,
Yeah.
memento.
That'd be pretty sweet, you know.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing, but I know I felt pretty good in the early days of Weed Man's Joint, looking out through it's a mirror on the outside, but when you're sitting on the inside, like right across from City Hall, it's just like pretty good placement, you know. Felt good.
Yeah, that's a good one. Right across from City Hall, and having all your city workers come over and smoke weed. And he grows weed there. He grows big fat plants in the back there. I'm not dry snitching on him. He's very happy to show you his plants on Facebook. He's got big ass plants there every year. I think he trimmed them last year. Finally, he took them down. But one year he left them up until like January. They were like, it was hilarious. Just to be a dick, he left them up. It's like, dude, these are serving you no purpose, but you're just going to get in trouble. Yeah, Weed Man is funny. He would just, whatever. And last year he took them out. He took them down and trimmed them properly. So maybe this year he'll do the same. We'll see. Nuts, man. Love it. I love it.
Well, I'm gonna get it off myself.
It's not a podcast. This is our board meeting. This is our weekly board meeting for Sativa Cross. Jim's the president. I'm the treasurer, and we need 2 more members to have a quorum. So we don't even have a quorum tonight. So we're just here bullshitting about whatever. So yeah, this is not a podcast. This is a board meeting. Believe it or not, our podcast is Thursday. Thursday we got Peter Grinspoon, Dr. Peter Grinspoon on, and that's going to be amazing. I can't wait for that. I'm going to pick his brain. Look up Peter Grinspoon. It's pretty wild, his life story.
Well, he's following in a father's footsteps that can't be followed in.
Well, it's his
part,
family.
part of a greater story, and but he was born into a family of really smart people.
His brother had leukemia at 8 years old, and they treated his brother with cannabis illegally for all those years. So he grew up with that. They
wouldn't have done that except for Dr. Lester Grinspoon. His father taught at Harvard, and he at first was tasked by Harvard to study marijuana, and what they wanted to accomplish was to figure out why young people were not acting rationally, that they would smoke something that would then hurt them, because that's reefer madness time, you know. I mean, the very beginning when he was, you know, and he's a smart man, and right away he knew. He knew almost instantly he'd been lied to his whole life, because the more he looked into it, the more questions he had, and then he came to think, wow, this is almost like a huge conspiracy. Yes, it was. But then when his son got leukemia, and the chemotherapy was just like terrible. I mean, really bad for him. And when his wife Betsy said, Lester, if you don't go out and get what he needs, I'm going to. because I mean, they were just getting into it. It wasn't like they were allowing him to suffer when they knew better. But then there was a whole thing with him, being a child, and how things were then. But then, as Lester described it, that instead of being sick, he asked if we could stop for a submarine sandwich on the way home. I thought that was just so endearing. Somebody actually calls it a submarine sandwich. He's from a whole different era.
Amazing. He had the munchies.
But then it extended the time they had with their son. He did die, but it showed him, I guess what all of us have seen at some point, results that make it all worth it. So anyway, for Peter Grinspoon, who will be on the show, that would be his brother, and he was 8 when his brother died. I think he was about 2 when he got sick, so I don't think he ever knew him to be anything other than a sicker older brother. And but then also growing up in a house where their father was the one to represent for the defense as an expert marijuana defense to offer for John Lennon's deportation trial in 1970. So, this, of course, again, Peter was 4 years old when his dad was going to court to try to make sure John Lennon didn't get deported. But that's the family he had. And then to grow up around people like Carl Sagan and other preeminent scientists, he's going to be a really good guest for the show. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So that's Thursday. So tune in for that. That's the real podcast. Thursday. We'll be in the studio. This is not my studio. This is just I'm home chilling. So yeah, thanks, Jim. I guess I'll talk to you on Thursday.
Yes, we can talk then.
Good night, everybody.
All right, man. Basketball time. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Good luck.